Greetings. My name is Brad Anderson, and I am the head coach of the Forest Hills Rugby Club team. And I'm here tonight to talk to you a little bit about the background of our program and what to expect this season and at your first game. So let's get started. The Forest Hills Rugby Club was founded in 1997 and is operated by a board president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, and club coaches. It is a club sport, but is school affiliated. So it's operated outside of the school realm by a club, by the board, but it is affiliated with the school. We use the school fields and we are supported by the Forest Hills Athletic Administration, and we work in cooperation with the schools to operate the team. So it is actually the best of both worlds. It's also affiliated with the Michigan Youth Rugby Association. And side note, state champions in 1997, 2004, 2006, and most recently in 2012. It is a great tradition, the team does, of courage, loyalty, and sportsmanship on the pitch. And our nickname is the Deadheads, which is a term that goes all the way back to 1997. And actually, we have a letter floating around in one of the executive board members' homes of a letter where the club wrote to the Grateful Dead to ask if we could use their logo and their moniker, the Deadheads. And they wrote back and said we could. So that letter is floating around. We have a strong alumni following and involvement, and you can check out more details at fhrugby.com. It's also where we have the links to Myra, to the different final forms, and we had our apparel ordering on there earlier this season. We also have a Facebook group, Forest Hills Rugby Club, where we have a lot of great updates and we have links, and it's one way to stay in tune with what's going on, as well as Twitter, which will post scores once we start our games. Let's talk a little bit about the sport of rugby. It was developed by William Webb Ellis at rugby school in 1823 when he was playing in a soccer game, picked up the ball, and ran it forward. That is at least the myth that goes along with the beginnings of rugby. Rugby union rules place 15 versus 15 players, but now there are flexible rules on the books that allow for 10 versus 10, and you might see that. Last year we played 10 versus 10 in a few games because when you have a lack of players on one side or the other, there's flexibility within the game to play a 10 versus 10. But most likely this year you will see us start with 15 versus 15. The object is to carry the ball over the opponent's goal line, and the ball moves forward by a series of running the ball, passing the ball backwards, or kicking the ball. The game starts with a kickoff, and players contend for the ball by tackling, rucking, and scrumming. Tackling, as you can imagine, is below the waist, shoulder low, head to the outside. Good tackling form. Rucking is when two players from either, one player from each team, minimum, binds in trying to secure a tackled player in contention for the ball. And a scrum is after a penalty where you see the interlocking of the players in one of the most famous formations of the rugby play. Scoring, a try. When you touch the ball down in your try zone is worth 5, kick after try 2, drop kick or penalty is worth 3 through the uprights. An official called a sir administers the laws of the game while encouraging continuous play. That's one thing you'll see is there's continuous play throughout the game. It is a 60-minute game, and the sir tries to make sure that the penalties don't overwhelm and stop the game. And so sometimes you'll hear the term advantage, which means the team that has the ball should have the ball and would have the ball following a penalty, but we're just going to let them continue play. Rugby has a unique spirit of camaraderie, decorum, tradition, respect, and fair play that I believe attracts many people to the game. The aspect of camaraderie is hard to really describe unless you're in the ranks and in the trenches, but rugby players certainly have a link and a bond that lasts a lifetime, and decorum is very important. Sportsmanship, very important. And the respecting of tradition of the game is incredibly integral to playing and is a part of learning the sport as much as playing it. Rugby is played globally and is popular in countries like Scotland, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, England, and Wales, and is now growing at the grassroots level here in the United States. There's a strong college rugby scene, and there is now a Major League Rugby that is very popular in many major cities across America. The positions include what teams are divided into forwards and backs. Forwards, numbered 1 through 8, are typically big, strong guys that move the ball forward through lots of traffic, kind of crashing the ball forward in what we call pods, and just kind of a yard at a time, You'll see that during your first game. Backs, numbered 9 through 15, use speed, endurance, and space to travel the ball forward. Each player is assigned based on experience, skill, size, speed, and strength. And that's the beauty behind rugby is there's a spot for everybody. Whether you're 100 pounds or 250 pounds, you can be a scrum half to a prop to a fly half to anything in between. So if you look here from a scrum formation, you see the loose head prop, the hooker. That is the person who hooks the ball backwards in the scrum with their feet. A tight head prop, and you see the 4 and the 5 are locks. Flankers are on the outside, 6 and 7, and the number 8 man is literally called the 8 man. They're kind of the back of the train, so to speak, in regards to the forwards, but they're also a link to the backs. And then you have the scrum half and the fly half are kind of the quarterbacks, if you will, to use an American football term, on the field. And then you have the inside center, the outside center, then you have a wing here and a wing here and a fullback in the back who kind of hangs back. Ask your player, what position are you? What number are you? They should know by now and be able to tell you a little bit about their position. The 2022 season, hopefully by now you've registered with the Michigan Youth Rugby Association, and all players must be registered with their home school through the final forms with the current physical on file, signed athletic code. You can go to fhrugby.com where you have all the links. There's these buttons on the front page where you can access all of these different sites. Our club plays in the Myra West Side Pool A, against Kentwood, Portage, Sparta, Granville, and Catholic Rugby. Catholic Rugby is a combination between West Catholic and Catholic Central. Players will be required to wear a jersey. We have jerseys that we will provide at the game, so they can wear their apparel to the game, but then they will change at the game. They need black rugby shorts, white soccer socks or rugby socks, cleats, and a mouth guard, which is mandatory. The focus this year is on fun, fellowship, fair play, and fortitude. We want to have fun when we're out there. That's the beauty behind rugby. Many people in America don't grow up playing rugby. They join as a freshman in high school. Some even join as seniors in high school. I joined as a senior in college and learned the game. And so it's all about fun. And everybody gets to handle the ball and run it downfield or pass it, and everybody gets to play defense. And that's the beauty behind rugby, is there's a spot for everybody, and it's incredibly fun. It's also about fellowship and working together as a team. And as we say in the deadhead ranks, if one scores, we all score. And also fair play. There is an element of fair play and honesty and owning up to if you made a penalty, and to observe the authority of the sir. It's very important. And it's also about fortitude. It's a physical game. People are going to get tired. It's very rugged. It's tackling without pads or equipment, which can at first be a little bit, discombobulating. But if you play the game fairly, if you tackle properly, if you are fair and physical and the other team is also fair, it works. And you will see in a good rugby game, you can have a clean rugby game and everybody can walk off the field, shake hands, and feel good about the game. Scheduling games for this season. Regular practices, as you know, are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. It's a club sport. This works into a lot of people's after-school activities. It allows people to have a job, maybe do what they need to do, but also be a part of this really amazing club and program and sport. There's some optional toss-arounds. I know that the players like to get together to toss around. The competition schedule, April 15th at Kentwood, April 22nd at Portage Central, April 29th, Sparta at home at the Forest Hills Administration Field off Burton Street. May 3rd, Granville, tentatively. This could change, so please stay tuned. May 13th at Catholic Rugby, and the Myra State that's a typo. The Myra State Finals, which are to be announced the last weeks of May. I please ask of you that you are respectful in your cheering. It is part of rugby decorum that you never, ever yell at the official or question the official. In fact, the only person on our team who can address the official is the captain, is the designated captain. And that, on the flip side, is the only person that the sir will address if they have issues with the team. Coaches can't even ask the sir anything. It is the captain on the field. And we ask that the audience is respectful, and it is actually very appropriate to cheer for the other team if they do something really amazing. And that's very appropriate in the rugby realm. Avoid heckling the official or the other team, and this is frowned upon. And I encourage our players to be good sportsmen, to use proper language, to not use foul language, and to be gentlemen on the field, although tough and rugged, but gentlemen on and off the field. Players play, coaches coach, officials officiate, and parents cheer. We do need volunteers. We're in need of a photographer. We're in need of line judges at our home game, and I can tell you a little bit more about that. So if you're interested, we're also going to need help with concessions with the FHC Athletic Boosters, who helps host our home games. And we are also in need of an FHC Athletic Booster rep. That is actually the most important. So if you're interested, it's like once a month through the end of the school year. If you can serve, I would greatly appreciate you being a representative for our team. Usually games are followed by socials. This is a great tradition in the rugby world, where after the game, the host team actually has food and beverages for both teams and both coaching staffs, and they get together and they sit together and they mingle, they talk about the game, and no matter how tough and how contentious the game was, typically the after game socials are a lot of fun, and everybody leaves arm in arm feeling good about themselves. At the collegiate level, it's even more of a part of the game. It's a very social aspect. There's usually a party afterwards where both teams stay together and there's singing, and there's a lot of really great fun and antics. And at the club level, it's very, very social, and it's really a strong part of what makes rugby a great lifetime sport. People play into their 40s, into their 50s in these area club teams. Here in Grand Rapids, we have the Gazelles. Our own club president plays for the Lansing team, and it is a lifetime sport. So certainly these socials are a great way to network and to mingle and to make create relationships with people from other teams. In closing, your sons have chosen to play rugby. It is a great sport. It is a sport of people all over the world, and in America, it is growing. It is a physical sport. It is a challenging sport, but it is very, very rewarding, and your sons will never regret stepping onto the field. And just in the last couple of years, a lot of the guys who have played in the club as deadheads have gone on to play at the collegiate level. And you don't have to be an all-star. Learning a little bit of the game, going on to play at the college level immediately creates a kinship and a friendship and a brotherhood and belonging, quite frankly, when you go onto that college campus. And we have people play at Miami of Ohio, at Northern Michigan, at Grand Valley State, at Aquinas College, at the University of Michigan. And so this is a great opportunity for young people to learn a great game, to make some great friendships, to stay in shape, to get tougher, and to perhaps learn a game that they'll play for the rest of their lives and meet some of the greatest friends. And some people might even travel the world with the game of rugby. So I appreciate you putting the confidence in our coaching staff, in the Forest Hills Rugby Club, and I look forward to our first fixture coming up. That's a game, and I look forward to the season ahead. And I know one thing: win, lose, or draw, we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to play some great rugby. So take care, and look forward to seeing you at the first game and then the first social, and look forward to hopefully having a parent social in the near future.